Peace, peace, peace. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having a great afternoon, depending on what part of the world you are in. It's a little hot, warm summer day out here in Connecticut. So I want to talk about something real quick. I want to talk about something that's been on my mind recently. And I think it's something we all should address and discuss more. To be mindful of what's going on in our surroundings, and that's the topic of child trafficking and missing children. Um, I want to talk briefly about the pandemic of missing children. Um, I did some a little bit of investigating recently. I am going to do some more, however, but just couple of statistics that I wanted to share with everybody today. Um, So according to some of the things that, a couple of sources online, it's an estimated 2,300 to 2,500 children go missing every day in the United States. That's 2,500 children every day reported missing in the United States. Another fact that I recently figured out that there's an estimated $40 billion generated through child trafficking industry and sex trafficking, slave labor, so on and so forth. $40 billion industry. So that just shows the magnitude and the immense power of what we're facing in this country and throughout the world regarding missing children and child trafficking. $40 billion, folks. So this is not just it's not an isolated issue. It doesn't matter if you live in the suburbs or the hood, what your economic status is, what color or race you are. Children from all backgrounds go missing every day. And, it's something that we need to address. If you haven't watched the film, The Sound of Freedom, I strongly recommend you watch that. Watch that movie with your friends, family, whoever. Watch that movie and share it with people. Excellent movie based on based on real events, based on a true story of child trafficking, and very synonymous with what's going on in our world today. The Sound of Freedom, excellent movie. Shout out to Tim Ballard. Shout out to Tim Tebow. Two individuals that organized their own efforts to rescue and save children that's been abducted and bring those responsible to justice. This is something I'm passionate about, and I'm not a parent. You don't need to be a parent to care about this type of things because it could happen to anybody. And a friend of mine personally, my partner Jose. His daughter is missing right now from New Britain, Connecticut. It's just smoking allergies in the air. She's been missing since June 26th, folks. She's been, no one knows where she is. Something I'm passionate about, because I care. Again, The Sound of Freedom, if you haven't seen it, I strongly recommend. Please watch it. Those certain groups of individuals tried to dismiss the movie and downplay it, saying it was fake, is fabricated, has been exaggerations, and so on and so forth. So that speaks volumes too, folks. And there's a lot of us who want to know where the Epstein list is at, including myself. I want to know where the hell the Epstein list is and whose names are on it. There's a lot of things that need to be revealed in our society. And, there's a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing, folks, from Main Street to Wall Street. Okay? And you need to be aware and attentive to your surroundings and who your children are interacting with, what they're doing online, what they're doing with their friends, what they do on the phone. Again, if you haven't seen the film The Sound of Freedom, Tim Ballard, he was a former Department of Homeland Security agent, and he went on a mission to rescue kidnapped children and missing children. To make a long story short, and you know, shout out to him again. Shout out to Tim Tebow for both of you doing your part in helping save and rescue children who are exploited and forced into slave labor. That's another issue also in impoverished countries, and poor people in general, where they lack money, resources, so on and so forth, food. They're used and taken advantage of by wealthy individuals and the elite, whatever you want to call them. Again, from Main Street to Wall Street, and this is something I learned watching this film too. They exploit these people, and a lot of people even have children. Sadly, a lot of people have children simply for this purpose, and it brought a lot of realization to my knowledge. A lot of things I know wasn't. It's a very emotional movie too. It made me cry. So again, you need to be aware of your surroundings, folks, especially for your kids' safety. There was a video recently of a little kid was kidnapped in, I think it was New York or somewhere. It was an attempted kidnapping. It was caught on camera. Luckily, the kid's parents were in the vicinity, and they they prevented this kidnapping from happening. But it was almost very real, and there's numerous things like that happen every day, folks. So you need to be mindful of where you are and what your kids are doing. For some of you, if you've never heard of John Walsh, he's he was the host of America's Most Wanted, and his son, I believe his son's name was Adam Walsh, and he was kidnapped and abducted in I think it was Florida, Miami, somewhere like a long time ago, maybe in I think early '80s. And he sadly passed away, as a result. And that's what led John Walsh on his mission to make create America's Most Wanted. And shout out to him, bringing these people to justice and holding people accountable. That's what I'm about. And I'm not a parent, but I was a former child care provider, and just because I don't work that job anymore, it doesn't mean my heart turned off, or I forfeited my compassion and empathy and concern. Those are things that's going to be in my heart till my last breath. So, again, bringing awareness to this type of issue is important. Again, 2,500 children go missing in America every day. According to, I don't know how accurate these numbers are, but it's an issue nonetheless. Again, just be diligent, people. Know where your kids are at. Speak to their teachers, their child care providers, their coaches, their martial arts instructors, music teachers, swimming instructors. Be attentive and know that women are involved in these types of things too. Women are women play a role. Women are predators too. Women that's another thing I learned in The Sound of Freedom is being being aware that there was a woman she played a role in abducting children. So it's not just men. It's not just one particular group or gender or whatever. Anybody could be anybody. It doesn't matter. It could be your bank teller, with the Mary Poppins dress on. So don't be judgmental. People judge me in daycare. People judge me because of my tattoos and how my appearance or whatever, blah blah blah. So don't be judgmental, folks. You need to have really good discernment, and you need to be a good judge of character when you're leaving in your children in someone else's care, or even a sleepover or a slumber party. Because anything can happen. And you need to know who your kids are with and what they're doing. So I wanted to bring some awareness and some attention to this issue. I'm going to be doing some more studying, some more researching, and think, becoming aware, because with awareness brings solutions. And if you're not aware of things, you can't really be, you can't be at your best. You can't be fully efficient. So, um, this is something that we need to be aware of, and it's really hard. I can imagine what it must be like. You know what I'm saying? My boy Jose, shout out to you, bro. Uh, I'll give you a shout later. Um, this is something that is in my backyard. I know people personally that, you know, um, have been victimized, and it's a brutal world out there. You got to be able to know what's going on around you and keep your children safe. Um, it's a sensitive topic. It's a sensitive subject, but I got to speak my piece, and you know, uh, again, if you haven't seen The Sound of Freedom, shout out to Tim Ballard again, Tim Tebow. Salute to you, fellas. Shout out to you from New Britain, Connecticut. Um, $40 billion industry, folks. Child trafficking, and there's a lot of drug cartels, and there's better not be no more scam calls. Um, these people in power, quote unquote, they got money and access to things, and you know, they sadly, they take advantage of those who have less money, who have less resources. I mean, a lot of these third world countries are severely impoverished. They have no access to clean water, clean food, healthcare, a roof over their head. Some of these people are desperate for those things, and they'll do anything to get it. And it's sad. It makes my stomach turn to think that someone can put these people in just do the diabolical things, you know, because they can, and they manipulate and exploit these families and children because they can do it. And it's sad. Money and um, people say money is the root of all evil, but it's the addiction. And then things like this happen as a result, as a byproduct. How can you harm? That's just despicable. But again, we need to be aware of these things and be able to empower your children too, and be there, love them, and